Hey guys, Anthony Leone with Roto Heat. Week 8 waivers already here. Like this video, hit the subscribe button, notification bell. I can't believe we're already halfway through the fantasy year, but let's go on to waivers. I got to start with Sam Darnold, especially after Mahomes going down. If you have Mahomes, I think Sam Darnold is a great person to pick up for your fantasy teams. He obviously plays tomorrow. I'm filming this after Sunday Night Football against New England, but we don't need to worry about that because we already started Mahomes. So next week is Jacksonville, pretty decent. Following that, Miami, Giants, Washington, Oakland, Cincinnati, Miami. I mean, look, if Mahomes is out 3 to 5 weeks, Darnold will have you covered with some pretty, good streaming matchups. So I think he's a must-add if you have Mahomes. I think and you don't have anyone else on your bench, and then anyone else, looking for a backup quarterback or someone to stream the next few weeks. I really think that Sam Darnold's the way to go. If you're in a super flex, Matt Moore, obviously, the guy who filled in for Mahomes, did okay. 10 completions, had a touchdown. So in a super flex, any starting quarterback, I always say it, you got to get him. Matt Shaub is someone also to prioritize as well. He had 6 completions, 65 yards, and a touchdown as well. He came in for Matt Ryan, and at this point, Matt Ryan's injury is kind of unknown. He wasn't a walking boot, so not looking good for Matt Ryan. So Matt Shaub is also someone to target in a Superflex league. Moving on to running backs, a couple familiar names. I want to start though with Chase Edmonds. He was on the waiver video last week. He comes through again, 27 carries, 126 yards, 3 touchdowns. So like I said before, if you have that extra space on your bench, I didn't think he'd be startable this week, but there you go. Hopefully you started him. I went up against him in one league, so I know some people out there did start him. I want to go over to Ty Johnson. Kerryon Johnson got hurt. Ty Johnson got a majority of the workload. He had 10 carries for 29 yards, also 4 catches for 28 yards. So he's someone to target, especially if you have Kerryon Johnson or, want to, like I said with Chase Edmonds, get that guy on the end of your bench. Speaking of end of the bench, Darrel Henderson, he was on the video last week. I want to add him on again this week. He had a good game, 11 carries, 31 yards. It's not going to win you weeks, but at the same time, if you have Gurley, you have to own him. And even if you don't have Gurley, he's a good guy to have at the end of your bench, kind of like Chase Edmonds. I told you to get him last week. Same kind of situation. Wide receivers. Tennessee Titans finally have a quarterback, at least a decent quarterback. Corey Davis finally gets into the end zone. He had 6 catches for 80 yards and a score. A.J. Brown looked pretty good too. He had 6 catches for 64 yards. So both those guys I'd target if they're available. And looking at the percentages here, it looks like they're out there. Kenny Stills, Will Fuller got hurt. Big surprise. He's always seemed to get banged up. Kenny Stills had a good game, 4 catches for 105 yards. And for those in very, very, very deep leagues, I'm going to really screw up this pronunciation. Alabisi Johnson, he came in, it looks like for after Thielen went down. He had 8 targets in the game. He had 4 catches for 40 yards and a touchdown. So, watch Thielen. It looks like he might be out. They have a short week. And if you're in a very deep league, I think you could do worse than Alabisi Johnson. Moving on to tight ends, it's been difficult. We thought we hit gold with Disley, and then he's out for the year. I talked about that last week, but we still have some other options here. Mike Gesicki, second-year tight end for the Dolphins. I know it's the Dolphins, I know, but he had 4 catches and 41 yards last week. He had 3 catches and 50 yards, something like that. And I didn't have him on the waiver video last week because I like to see guys kind of follow it up. And so Mike Gesicki is now on the radar after having 2 good weeks in a row. Dallas Goedert, same kind of situation. Last week he had 5 catches for 48 yards. And earlier tonight, he had 4 catches for 69 yards and a touchdown. Looked really good. Looked better than Ertz, really. So those are a couple guys to target. Irv Smith and Rudolph of the Vikings are just someone to look at. I wouldn't add them at this point. Just, they're inconsistent at times. And like I talked about with Gesicki and Goedert, you don't want to add someone after a big game or a decent game because more often than not, they just don't really follow it up. So those are both a couple of guys I'd keep an eye on next week to see how they do, but I don't think I'd add them at this point yet. Vance McDonald, though, is a good streamer. A lot of people dropped him because of the bye week. They go against Miami this week. And so if he's available, I think you could do worse, especially if you're hurt at that position like so many of us are. And to end the video, I like to give a couple of defenses. I don't want this video to go too long, so I'm only going to do one. But there is a very good defense out there available in the majority of leagues, and that is the Pittsburgh Steelers. They have Miami, and they are out in over 50% of the leagues, and I think that they're a great start this week. So good luck on waivers, everyone. Hope you guys have a good end of the season here, regular season. This is the time you want to get your players for the playoff push. So be sure to check out the waiver wires in all your leagues and get the guys who can help you later in the year. So like I said, like this video, subscribe to the channel. We'll see you next time. Good luck on waivers, guys.
Don't forget, make sure you hit the subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss any more fantasy football content from the rotoheat.com team. Also, right there, playlist. Hit it. Watch the videos. Do it. You want to. Do it.